11, and we're going to call the Wilmington Board of Appeals meeting of May 8th, 2019 to order. We had an executive session that recently just completed. We're now in open session. The first case on the docket is a continued case from April 17th, 2019. Fordham Park LLC, case 619, 100 to 110 Fordham Road, map 91, parcel 121, to acquire a special permit in accordance with 6.6.7.7 to allow greater than 15% impervious coverage within the Zone 2 area. Hi, why don't you come on up, introduce yourself, and let us know what you're seeking.
Sure. So my name is Paul Chisholm. I'm a civil engineer with Keach Nordstrom Associates. I'm joined tonight by Adam Binney, who's on behalf of Fordham Park LLC, the owner of the property, and Bill Frisella from North Point Construction, who is the GC for the project. We're requesting a special permit for the site, essentially, if I may. Parcel in general, we've got 40 acres in total area. It's basically an existing campus that was constructed, I think, in the 60s or something along those lines. Several different buildings, A, B, C, and D. The project focuses on this building D here on the north end of the site. Building D happens to be, you can see this dash line right here. This is the Zone 2 groundwater protection area over on this end over here. Basically, the building the roof will be cut off and raised up 14 feet to create high bay storage inside of the building. In addition, there's going to be 10 loading docks constructed on the north end of the building. And to accommodate the truck turning and everything like that, the parking lot will actually be improved as well. So this is a little bit more of a detailed plan of what's going on here. Today, again, it was a site that was built in the 1960s. In the Zone 2 area, there's specific requirements as far as how much impervious you can have on site. Today, there's a little over 24.4% impervious. We're actually cutting back the edge of the parking and reducing the amount of impervious by about 400 square feet in total. But the biggest benefit to this site is today the stormwater is just collected in catch basins. It's not detained, it's not treated, it's not infiltrated, anything like that. This whole end of the site will be completely reconstructed. There's two new storm tech, those are the arch chambers that will be constructed under the parking lot to promote infiltration. When we were talking with Paul, the town engineer, about how do we handle the fact that we're over the 15% threshold, he said, well, if you infiltrate, a proportional amount of whatever your overage is, that's one way to do it. So that's what we've done. If you were to, for example, say, all right, if I'm only allowed 15% impervious area in this end of the site here, I would have to reduce the total amount of impervious area on site by about 74,000 square feet. And so if you were to take that area and line it up with the Mass Stormwater standards for how much you need to infiltrate, it results in a volume of about 2,200 cubic feet. These systems were designed with about 3,600 cubic feet. So they're well above the threshold that Paul and I had talked about when we first sat down to design the project. With that being said, we do have a letter from him with these calculations. He was good with all of them and felt that we were meeting the letter of the law there. And the fact that this is just a redevelopment, that there's so much improvement happening to the water quality with the new system as opposed to what's there today, he felt comfortable with recommending approval for this project. In addition, we went to the Conservation Commission and Planning Board and received approvals from them over the course of the last 2 weeks. And this is kind of our last stop along the way. I will keep it short, I guess, if you guys have any questions.
Kelly, why don't you, do you have the Mr. Looney's do you have a copy of it?
I did. I gave it to you as well. It's with the agenda.
Okay. And that's got the planning board one, too. I might as well read them into the record
Planning
first.
and as well as engineering.
Okay.
Engineering is last.
Here we go. Thank you. Okay, I'll read engineering first. I'll just read the general comment. This is from the Department of Public Works, and I just have the one page. Was it a two-page? Thought it was. No.
Just have one.
Okay. I'll read it. The applicant proposes parking lot improvements to facilitate reuse of the existing building located at 100-110 Fordham Road. The proposed plan reduces impervious coverage compared to the existing condition. The infiltration best management practices proposed for runoff from the existing building and parking lot, coupled with the reduction in impervious area, are adequate to meet the provisions of the Groundwater Protection District, specifically zoning bylaw 6.6.7.7. Thus, the Engineering Division recommends that the special permit be granted for the above referenced parcel. And then we also have the Planning Board May 8th memorandum. At its meeting on Tuesday, May 7th, the Planning Board voted to recommend unanimously the proposal has received site plan review and stormwater management permit review from the Planning Board. The decisions for each approval are attached for reference. The proposed project is located within the Groundwater Protection District and exceeds 15% impervious area, Section 6677, and an adequate system for groundwater recharge has been proposed. So it looks like it got a thumbs up from both the engineering department and the planning board.
Yes, that's correct.
I'll open it up first to the board for any questions or comments from the applicant. I'll take comment from the gallery, and then we'll make whatever necessary
I have
decision.
a question. On the engineering recommendation, who was that specifically from? Is it-
Paul Aluni.
Who is it?
Paul Aluni? Yeah, the engineer. He's the one that emailed me the memo. And it was just that one page. Yeah.
Anybody else have any initial questions or comments from the applicant?
So you're taking the existing pavement area and you're just going to treat the water that was already being collected there?
Yeah, so right now it's collected and it's channeled and it's sent. There's no detention, no infiltration, no treatment. We're adding quite a few treatment features, deep sumps, hoods. We have a storm scepter for pre-treatment, and then for redundancy in the bigger underground system, we also have an isolator row in the chamber system. Additionally, it's not just the pavement area; it's also a little bit of the roof runoff as well. Is treated through the longer, thinner piece of chamber as well.
Anybody else? Okay, I'm going to open up a public hearing. Is there anybody that wishes to be heard on this particular request, application? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is closed. I will entertain any motions from the board.
I'll make a motion. Make a motion to grant a special permit for case 6-19 in accordance with 6.6.7.7 to allow greater than 15% impervious coverage within Zone 2 area, as the proposed plan has adequately addressed the excess impervious coverage.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, but can I have a question after?
Well, do you want to second it for discussion?
Yes. second
Okay,
discussion.
then,
So my question, I just thought of, so it's greater than 15%, so
Correct.
what did it end up being?
The total number is 24.4%. Is that number? Yep.
do you want to second now, second his motion?
Second, I'll second. the
Now we have a
motion.
second for actual vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Good luck. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Good luck, folks. Okay, next case on the docket is case 819, Richard Langone, 38 Nassau Avenue, map 31, parcel 52, to acquire a special permit in accordance with 6.1.6.4 to extend a non-conforming structure. Good evening, folks. Could you please identify yourself for the record and let us know what you're seeking?
Richard Langone.
Oh, Langone. I said Langone, I'm sorry.
My name's Jonathan Langone. I'm Richard's son.
Okay,
I'm here to represent him to go through the process.
okay. And what are you looking for, sir?
So we're looking to do the existing dwelling. It had a fire above the garage, and that was last June. So we had to take the existing garage down due to the fire damage. The new proposed garage, we were looking to elevate the roof line a little bit. The footprint's staying like exactly the same. There's no no change to the footprint of the existing house. It just the roof line will increase in height by approximately 3 feet or 4 feet. That's pretty much it.
Okay, just to get it on the record, the planning board, again, memorandum dated May 8th at its May 7th meeting on this particular case, upon duly made and seconded, it was unanimously voted to recommend approval. The proposed dormers do not appear to be more detrimental to the neighborhood. That's pretty straightforward. Anyone from the board wish to ask any questions of the applicant?
I have a question. So I just wanted to, with this picture, so really the two dormers are the equal size, equal height? Are they equal height?
So the top photo is of the proposed dwelling, and the bottom is of the existing.
Right, this one, so when you put the dormers on, it's just the same exact
That's the
height?
existing house on the left-hand side. You're looking at the side of it.
Yes.
I'm on a corner.
So on the left, that ridge line is staying the identical height on the left side, and then on the right, that
This is a little higher.
That one's going
Yeah.
higher, so
Okay.
it'll just be there.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions of the applicant or comments on the application? Okay, I will now open up the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on this application? Going once, going twice. Public hearing is closed, and I will refer back to the board for any motion on this application.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve a special permit for case 8-19 in accordance with 1.1.6.4 to extend a non-conforming structure.
6.1.6.4.
6.1.6.4 to extend the non-conforming structure is no more detrimental
To the neighborhood.
neighborhood.
Okay, we have a motion.
Although, as the plans, as these plans, so these are the, how do we word it, that it was the plans that were submitted?
I
So
mean,
it's not like they can't change different,
I mean, the plans are submitted if you want to,
as submitted, as submitted,
So
Okay.
as submitted.
I have a question on that. So on the agenda, it shows 6.1.6.4, and on the notice of hearing, it calls out 6.1.3.
Yeah, there's a difference on this here.
So which one?
Dan,
Huh.
Dan, right here, it says,
okay, yeah,
That was-
notice of hearing is 6.1.3.
That was clerical, sorry, on my part. So I did change the notice of hearing to 6.1.6.4.
That's,
But
from my
you got the
understanding,
old
it's
one.
6.1.6.4.
It is, but I didn't
Okay.
change your packet, sorry.
Okay, so the motion will stand as
As
6.1.6.4. We have a motion, do we have a second on it?
I'll second.
We have a second on the motion. All those in favor? Aye, unanimous. Good luck, fellas.
Thank you.
Have a nice night.
All right,
Yeah.
take care. Next case on the docket is case 919, Michael Welch, 22 Grant Street, map 62, parcel 13, to acquire a special permit in accordance with 6.1.6.4 to extend a non-conforming structure. Good evening.
Michael Welch. I'm proposing to tear down the existing home and rebuild a new house. And it will not encroach any closer to the lot line or the front yard setback than the existing home is. The new home won't encroach any more than the existing home does. The height of the new home is going to be taller than the existing home, so we're proposing to extend the pre-existing non-conforming vertically and also extend it horizontally. By holding the lot line right now, it's about 5 feet. And we wanted to hold that pre-existing non-conforming.
Okay. I'll just read the planning board's recommendation on this case. Again, at its May 7th meeting, upon duly made and seconded, it was unanimously voted. This is a bit long. The existing structure is located 10 feet 4 inches from Grant Street and 5 feet 1 inch from Patterson Street at the closest points. However, because the existing house is skewed, the corner of Patterson and Grant Streets has more visibility than the proposed structure that would be 10 feet 5 inches from Grant and 5 feet 2 inches from Patterson. Additionally, the proposed structure is significantly higher than the existing structure, creating a large impediment to sight lines and imposing on the corner. To provide better sight lines and better comply with street corner setbacks under section 5.3.1, 25-foot triangle, the proposed house should be moved farther back from Grant Street. 20 feet is recommended to provide visibility that will not be more detrimental to the neighborhood. As an additional note, average front setbacks should not be used where there is only one adjacent dwelling for the calculation. I guess before I open it up to the board, if you want to address, there's some lengthy comments there. If you want to address them, I'll let you do so before we kick it to the board.
Sure, the 20-foot, 25-foot off each corner and create a triangle, and the 20-foot setback I'd address that we are still preparing a septic plan, and it's proposed to be in the backyard because of the position of the existing home. So I can say, sure, that's a great idea, but I don't know how much area of that backyard we're going to take up for the septic.
Okay, I will go to the board for any initial comments or questions of the applicant before I open the public hearing.
I'll start. Well, I do have an issue with it. The new house is larger than the existing house. And I believe that the new house, although not closer than the closest point of the original house, I'm in agreement with the planning board that it is substantially more detrimental than the existing house. So the existing house is smaller than the new house, and I think the setbacks are being encroached on more. So
Well, just to clarify the record, and I'm not taking issue with what you're saying,
Yeah.
but the planning board didn't say substantially more detrimental, it just said more
Okay,
detrimental.
it's more
Yeah,
detrimental.
I just want to clarify for the record.
It's going from 1 story to 2 stories, and the setbacks are getting encroached on. So
Well, you can think it's more substantial, I'm just saying the planning board didn't say that, that's all.
that's my opinion.
Okay. Anybody else wish to be heard? Well, now, you want to...
Well, I mean, I think just because you're making it so it's square to the lot line in the front, yeah, that's one point, but it is a lot larger house. So I would be, I disagree with putting such a large house in where there's a 1-story as well.
Anybody else from the board, before I open the public hearing, wish to comment or ask any questions of the applicant?
Would you be willing to reduce it?
Yes, I would. I would reduce this house. I've been to the board in the past, and I realized that, assuming that you didn't want to bring a house on there, and I've been watching some other meetings, and can I just talk about another address I saw in another meeting recently?
No, I
Okay.
would prefer,
Not-
we're dealing with this application,
Okay.
so.
So I did hold that, and I guess holding the 10.4 and squaring it off to the lot does give the apparent, even though we don't come close to the lot line, it does appear to be closer because it's squaring up. And then the larger house, the 3 houses that are built on Patterson are all colonials identical to this house, and that's where the plan was generated from.
Okay, anybody else?
So I'm wondering if you would, however it goes, but wouldn't it be better if you knew where the septic was, so then you could know if it got, you could center it a little bit, and then maybe you would have more advantage of getting a bigger house. if
Agree.
that's what-
That was the time frame, but with the weather, and you'll see, I have another case coming up after this that both with the engineering, everything got delayed, so I don't have a septic plan yet. So yes, I do agree. And on that point, the septic installer is proposing to do 3 test pits, 1 in the front yard and 2 in the backyard, because pretty big grade changes. And then there's definitely ledge in that general area, so we don't know what we're gonna find until next week.
Do you
So,
consider Patterson the front or Grant the front when you say front yard?
Grant is the front.
Okay.
So that you don't know what the setbacks would be at all then, right now? You don't know what your frontage would be or your side setbacks?
Well, right now, we.
Are you gonna stay at you're hoping to stay with the 10.5 and the 5.2?
That's what we would like to do, that's, if that would work.
I thought you said you'd be willing to reduce it. Did you say, did I hear you?
Yeah, I'd be willing to reduce it, the footprint, but we still need to get some parking space, 2 parking spaces in there, so we'll need that on the, opposite side of the lot from Patterson. We'll need to get a couple parking spots in there.
So Mike, where would the house be shifting from? The Patterson side? Are you, the 16.8, is that where the parking would go? Off of Grant Street, the 2 parking spaces
Yes.
on the 16.8?
Mhm.
So this is what you're looking for then, a 28 by 38?
That's
Okay.
what.
That's what you got here, yeah.
Mhm. Obviously, I need approval of the board, so if we don't feel that, if that's too big of a house and we want to reduce it,
Let's just open the public hearing and see if anyone wishes to be heard on this. Is there anybody here who wishes to be heard on this particular application? Sir, why don't you stand up and
Sure.
identify yourself, please?
My name's John Keating. I live right next door.
Yep.
And my question is the people that, they added that house, they added a bedroom, like 2 bedrooms. And when they went in front of the boards, they would only allow them 2 bedrooms in that lot. So I don't know, why that would be. They wanted to put 3 in and they wouldn't allow it. So, I don't know, can that be done on such a small lot? I mean, I'm next door, I don't want a big, huge hill in the back with the water coming down into my property, because we're real close.
You're at 20 Grant or 6?
I'm at 20.
20 Grant. So that would be the side that you proposing the driveway on?
yes.
And is the front door gonna be on Patterson or on Grant?
I'll have to wait until the grading plan's done to give you a definite answer. I guess yes is the answer, one or the other. But until the grading plan's done, we know right where the septic's going.
Well, if
But
the,
the plan I'm proposing now shows the front door facing Patterson.
Okay.
It seems like there's a lot of ifs, though. Ifs, like where the septic is, we don't know. We don't know possibly where the front door is.
Yeah.
We don't know where the house could possibly go.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be better to wait?
Yeah, I would like to continue it.
Well, hold on, let's make sure anybody that wishes to be heard, was another gentleman wish to be heard? Sir, can you identify yourself, please?
So John Dugas, I'm 6 Patterson neighbor.
Okay.
I don't think I have plans, but is the structure going to keep the same footprint and just square up to the roads and it's just getting larger because you're going up, or is it going to expand into the lot towards 20 Grant or towards 6 Patterson?
So I don't really
He's
know.
at,
Okay.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, so, the part of the bylaw that I did, was pre-existing non-conforming, so I'm not gonna be any closer than the existing home is to Patterson or to Grant is what I'm proposing, but the comment was that because the existing house is so parked on the, lot, square it off, it's gonna give the appearance that it's more encroaching on the 2.
Cool.
And the house is bigger than the existing footprint that I'm proposing.
Okay. How much?
Are you gonna be moving it back also? Or-
Once we do the septic, test pits,
Oh, you'll have to
which is
see.
Tuesday, we'll know if the septic's in the front or the back. So I plan to have that done before tonight's meeting.
So it sounds like it could come either direction towards 6 Patterson or towards 20 Grant, depending on size or where the septic would have to be located.
If for some reason we dig the test pit governs where the septic goes. If we start out here is the ideal place to put the septic, and it's all ledge and we can't put a septic there, then we're gonna do a test pit out front and then propose the house come back. But then we have another predicament because we have to stay 20 feet off that rear lot line. So, and we have to still.
I mean, it sounds to me like there are a lot of things in flux here. It sounds to me that you're gonna have to figure out the septic issue. You're asking for a continuance. What I'm gonna propose, if you're in agreement with it, is that I won't close the public hearing. I'll leave it open. I'll suspend it until we get you can come back.
Okay.
We'll continue it, maybe you can get everything squared away and present something that addresses some of the issues that were raised by the gallery and by the board. How long do you figure it's gonna take you to get all your ducks in a row?
We actually supposed to be testing next week, so I should be able to make a month.
The next meeting, Kelly, is
June 12th.
June 12th?
Is it on your, yeah, June 12th.
Do you wanna continue the case till June 12th?
I'd like to, yeah.
I'll entertain a motion if anyone's inclined that continue the matter to the June 12th meeting.
I'll make a motion to continue case 9.19, 20 Grant Street, to the June 12th meeting.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Kelly, if you could just reflect in the minutes that the public hearing is still open on that. So I'll entertain any of you folks that want to be heard when he comes back with whatever the particulars are. You'll have the ability to do that, okay? All right, June 12th.
No, I thought you were.
G-U-G-A-S.
Thank you.
Okay, next case on the docket is also with Mr. Welch. It's case 1019, map 88, parcel 89 to 46, at an address at 6 Pine Ridge Road, to acquire a special permit in accordance with 6.1.6.4 to extend a non-conforming structure. Okay, Mr. Welch, what are you looking for with this one?
Yes, this house is actually gonna be a remodel. We have, I'll jump right over to the end, we have a proposed addition that isn't part of this variance on the plot plan. I think the planning board might have noticed that. Again, proposed because the septic's out back and until we have the septic in, but it doesn't affect what I'm asking for the variance, so that's why it says proposed in the plot plan. So the existing house right now is a cape. Typically at a cape, you go upstairs and it's a pretty steep roof out front. In this house, if they have left some photos, the front roof is very shallow. So when you come down the stairs from the second floor to the first floor, you actually hit your head on the roof. Well, I hit my head on the roof. My wife doesn't because she's only 5'1", but, and for that being said, we're proposing maybe just changing this to a Cape-style house, but the buyer wants a colonial, so we proposed a colonial. And we want to extend the front wall up right on the existing footprint. It is another note I'll make that the existing plan says 2838. It's actually 2832. So the existing footprint.
Okay, and I'll read the planning board recommendations into the record on this particular matter. At its meeting of May 7th, upon motion duly made and seconded, the planning board unanimously voted, the information, this is quoted, the information is not clear whether the proposed project is an addition or a tear-down rebuild, and what the dimensions and setbacks of the proposed structure will be. With a lot size of 20,000 square feet in the R10 district, a new house that conforms to required setbacks is appropriate. The proposed house is significantly higher than the existing dwelling, and increasing the height within the non-conforming setbacks would be out of character for the neighborhood and unnecessarily crowd abutting properties. Again, if you want to address that before I go to the board for comment.
Sure. I actually gave pictures. If you're facing the front of my house, the house directly to the left of us is a big old colonial. I think the front has, I'm pretty sure it's in one of the pictures where I took a side view. Right, he just did it, farmer's porch, so I'm identical to him, but the house to the right of me is a cape.
Let me ask you a question. Well, why don't we address the first thing that they raised? Is the proposed project an addition or a tear-down rebuild?
It's definitely an addition.
See, it's on the existing foundation.
The existing foundation staying.
All you're gonna do is square off that left-hand side of the house.
The front, yes.
And what is the size of the existing footprint?
32 by 28.
32 by 28. So it's the same depth, and you're just extending it to the left.
No,
Confused. Am I missing that one? There it is. Is this it? That's my- no.
can I add another comment too?
So what was this one? Is this says, existing foundation to be removed,
Let me see.
and then you've got.
Yeah, so that's an old, that was an old, right where it stands, an old garage that would burnt down back whenever, you know.
So here, so this is the existing number 6 is, what did you say was
Say 32, 28, or 28, 32.
32?
No, 28 deep, 32 along the front.
32, 20.
I believe that was, if
Mm-hmm.
I could, that was taken out of play, correct? This one.
Yeah,
Because it had the existing, but you have my file, which has all the original,
Oh.
which is why nobody else has it.
Oh, that makes sense, because this is all this is
Right.
all we
That
have.
was taken out of,
Okay, so that's,
is there a plot plan that shows the 2 neighbors? Because averaging the 2 neighbors were about 26 feet. So it's really only a small triangle in the front right corner that is in the non-conforming area that we're dealing with.
so I thought you said that you were putting a colonial there.
We're gonna remove the cape roof and put a second level on it, making it look like turn it into a colonial.
Okay, so the original foundation is staying in place.
Exactly. It's not, the original foundation is not going left, right, front, or rear.
I don't have a problem with it. The only problem I have is that there isn't a plot plan that actually has any dimensions on it or shows what you're doing, for the record. That's my only,
Are you saying that the plot plan doesn't actually say the house size that's there?
all I have is this. With somebody that drew it in, like in pencil, with
Oh.
with no dimensions on it. I don't have a plot plan. So that's the only
Yeah.
issue I have.
All right. Do you want me to bring back, or what would you like me to do?
Well, I know the board's preference,
Mhm.
and I don't entirely disagree with it, is that we have a workable, applicable, pertinent plot plan.
Can I?
Since you're coming back at the next meeting anyway, maybe you can provide that to us at the next meeting?
Can I turn this plot plan in lieu of the one that's scribbled on?
Well, the other members haven't had a chance to read.
It's the same plot plan exactly, except for it doesn't have a little corner drawn on it.
Well, I mean, why don't we take a peek at what you
Yeah.
got?
no, we should.
Yeah, but this doesn't have the addition. This is completely different. This is saying you're gonna build an addition on the end.
That's like the big piece that you just,
That's
it's just
the-
a
that's the-
smaller version of this. It's the same thing as this, just smaller.
Right.
Let me ask the board. Again, this is probably a case that's gonna require some additional information to make a proper evaluation. What would you like to see in the plot plan so we can tell the applicant and he can maybe come back and provide us with something that's a little bit more apropos?
Well, so I guess before you answer, shouldn't a plot plan have the basics? Why do we have to tell somebody what's on a plot plan?
Well, it should have.
I'm just trying to assist the applicant in
Mhm.
providing the board.
I think he's built probably 4,000 homes, so I think, as far as a plot plan, I think, if we say come back with a plot plan, I don't know why we'd have to.
Can I talk? The proposed addition, I think, is throwing everybody off. The proposed addition has nothing to do with the variance whatsoever.
There's
And,
no variant. What do you mean variance?
I mean, excuse me, sorry, it has nothing to do with the special permit. The special permit that I came for is in this little piece here, on the front corner of the existing house that's shaded. The only reason we put the proposed addition on, just so the buyer could see exactly what's going on with their yard, and if this budget comes in, then that's gonna happen.
Well, if I understand the special permit in a non-conforming lot correctly, that you do need a special permit to put the addition on.
The lot is actually conforming. The lot conforms, but the structure doesn't.
So does Al allow an addition to a house if the lot is non-conforming? Does he allow an addition with a fully conforming addition without a special permit?
Yes.
He does. Okay.
Yes,
So
yeah,
that's why
100%.
the addition's not a problem.
As long as it
Yeah.
doesn't make it any more non-conforming.
Right, with this lot, yeah, everything, this
detrimental.
addition is drawn conforming, it has to. It
Right.
couldn't,
Okay, so some towns don't allow that. I wasn't sure if Al allows
he does.
that. He does. Okay, so the only thing that I think we need a plot plan that shows a 28 by 38 new footprint on it with the setbacks. I mean, I just can't approve a draw, I can't approve.
Or a plan that matches the footprint, because I'm only matching the footprint, we're not enlarging it.
Whatever it is.
Okay.
There's no dimensions on it, so there's no stamp on it, there's nothing.
Although I thought you said you were building a 28 by 32.
32, right, and that's,
So those plans are wrong.
No, he
Yeah.
said the existing box
is
is
32 wide, 28 deep.
28 deep, and the
And-
new house is 28 deep, and he's gonna extend it 6 feet to get to 38 feet.
No, in the beginning of the meeting, I said that the plan is supposed to say 32, 28, 32. So we're not extending the existing footprint whatsoever.
Well, now I'm
Yeah.
so confused.
What I'm gonna suggest, well, first of all, let's open up the public hearing. Folks, do you wish to be heard on this?
No, we just live at number 10, and we're just curious as to what was happened at 8.
Okay.
I mean,
So do you wish to be heard, or you're here
live
to?
at 8, and we're just curious as to what's happened
Okay.
at 6.
Okay,
I
okay.
actually didn't see you guys sitting there, sorry.
All right, hold on. Let's keep it straight. So we have some folks here that don't wish to be heard. They're just watching to see what happened, which is fine. Okay, it sounds to me like there's a lot of confusion here, Mike. Maybe you can again come back and and present something that's a little bit more straightforward, so the board can evaluate it. Because what we're looking at, it doesn't have a lot of the dimensions that we're looking for. Especially, we'd like to, when we vote on something, we'd like to have a plan that reflects the dimensions.
So I understand, so what you're basically doing now is you're just raising the roof, putting a second floor on it. So all I can say is just bring back a set of plans that reflects that, because
Yeah.
that way there's no confusion at all, what we've approved.
And I'll have the engineer add the dimensions to the actual existing home,
Yeah.
and I'll remove the proposed addition, so there's no confusion, and then,
Okay, so, all right, so then you're okay with coming back with that information at the next meeting and on June 12th?
for sure.
Okay. Hold on, yep.
So I have a question, so this really irks me and the planning board, so they voted upon, duly made and seconded, it was unanimous, and yet they write, the information is not clear whether the proposed project is an addition or a tear down rebuild, so how can you vote on something unanimously that you don't know what you're voting on, so.
Well, if I may, I asked them the same question. It's just how they worded. They voted unanimously that they have insufficient evidence. They didn't vote
They voted
for
unanimously that they have insufficient evidence?
that they need to see that
Do they
the
have any
plans
members
don't
on the
match.
board?
No, I don't know who's doing the minutes.
I think what they're
That's-
doing
it's
is
just the way they worded it.
they're voting unanimously in agreement with the statement
Correct.
that they put in there. So they're not making an assertion one way or the
They're not
other.
granting
They're just
or-
unanimously agreeing with that statement that I
Okay,
read
so
into the
Can we
record.
get a recommendation from them?
That's the way they wanted it worded.
There's no recommendation?
Well, their recommendation was that the plot plan matched the plans exactly what.
Oftentimes, the planning board gives us recommendations with no direction. And we don't have to go abide by them. We don't have to go by them. I mean, they're kind of for guidance. I've disagreed with them before, but.
But so shouldn't he go back before then, once he gets that straightened out?
Yeah.
It will. Well, it'll go once the new plans come in.
Yeah.
I'll have to send it to them as well
Oh.
and get.
Can
their
that be done by the
recommendation.
next meeting?
Yes. Yeah. As long as you get it to me, within the next week or so. I mean,
All right, so what I'm gonna do, same as with the last case, if the board is so moved to continue the matter, I will not close the public hearing. I will hold it open until we can make a final deliberation. If someone on the board is so inclined, I will entertain a motion to continue this matter to the next meeting.
So I'll make a motion to continue case 10/19, the property at 6 Pine Ridge Road, regarding special permit till June 12th, the next meeting.
We have a motion. Do we have a second on that motion?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor? Aye. We'll see you on June 12th, Mr. Welch.
Thank you all for your time.
All right, take care. Okay, and then the final matter on the docket is case 117 and 217, 4 Waltham Street, map 79, parcel 31D. Application of EchoSite Incorporated and T-Mobile Northeast LLC for dimensional variances and a special permit to authorize the construction of a wireless telecommunications facility. This matter is before the Board of Appeals pursuant to an order of the United States District Court that the board, quote, issue the requested variances and special permit necessary for the construction of the proposed facility. From my understanding, this is a case that they appealed a decision that we made to the court and prevailed, and the court issued an order directing us to issue the requested variances and special permit. So, I'll open it up to any discussion. It's fairly straightforward, in my opinion. If we don't vote on it, we'll be in contempt of a court order. So,
I have a question.
Sure.
So, when we went to executive session,
you shouldn't talk about.
no, I know, I'm gonna try to be as, the selectmen voted on this. I'm not gonna say what they voted on, but they voted on this. So why is it coming back to us?
Because the United States District Court has issued an order remanding the matter back to this board with a directive that we issue the variance and the permit. If we don't take the action so ordered, then we risk being in contempt of court, and I don't wanna speculate on the result, but.
I understand that if that's the case, then I'm still not.
I mean, I will say that executive sessions have been held to discuss, this has obviously been in litigation, and executive sessions have been held to discuss the ramifications of that. That doesn't necessarily affect the directive that we have from the court.
No, I understand there was a vote during the executive session.
Okay.
It's a little bit odd. Okay.
We really don't have any choice.
Oh, I mean, we
So
do.
we
We
do.
can be in contempt of court.
Oh.
I'm not looking to beg that issue. So, I mean, everybody can vote their own way, but I'm going to be clearly inclined to follow the court directive on this. So,
Where does it, where's the write-up of the court's reasoning?
there's a court decision that I believe has been previously,
Oh, okay.
It's right here.
yeah, it's been
Oh.
previously circulated to the members. It was fairly straightforward. It regarded federal preemption regarding telecommunications.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not gonna get into the
okay.
whole,
So
the whole
we're-
gist of it. It's pretty straightforward, but, I mean,
So we have no choice, so,
well, you do.
well,
Yeah.
so,
Okay.
we make a motion?
I will entertain a motion,
To stay out of
I
court?
guess what I would suggest is that whoever is so inclined, make the motion to grant the variance and the permit, and whoever is not in agreement doesn't have to vote for the motion.
Actually, another question, so, do they still get to stipulate how high, or we don't get to, actually maybe make it nothing?
We are under an order from the court to issue the requested variance and special permit as requested by the applicant.
Which I have copies of the verbiage they used, 'cause I prepared the decisions.
I make that motion, what you just said.
Which is
Thank you.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion to approve the variance and special permit, which has been seconded. All those in favor? Aye, unanimous. We dodged that bullet. Okay, do we have anything administrative, Kelly, that we need to go through?
I just have minutes from the last meeting that I've sent around.
Yeah.
Didn't know if everybody got a
What,
chance.
what was the date on that, just for the record?
That was, yeah,
What's the odd?
April
The
17th.
off date. All right, so we have, and was everyone present at that meeting?
Yes.
All right, so April 17th, 2019 minutes are being presented for approval. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as drafted by Ms.
So
Malatesta?
moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. All those in favor? Unanimous, the minutes are approved. Is there anything else that we need to address?
That's it.
Okay, well then, our next meeting is on Wednesday, June 12th, and everyone have a nice month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.